Hello everybody, and we're going to go over the updates for the future Dragon development. The dev diaries are coming out fast. We already have two, and they are just putting out amazing work, and these guys are just great. Buck helped with Elder Kings 2 and other mods like that. He helped with animation there. They investigated the feasibility of adding dragons to CK3, which I know is really tough to do. Check out the animation work here, having to work all these guys. I'm sure these dragons are pretty difficult to do, and it would take a lot of free time to do. Be amazing if these guys, most of them, have full-time jobs, and they do this as a side project. Was just amazing. I love when the community gets together and end up doing things that we all love. And creating dragons is definitely something that we all wanted, and I'm just very glad that we had the ability to play it. I thought it would be more of like a night system, and they just came up with the way to do this, which is just fantastic, I think. So those animations really cool. Check out the flying animations. Look at that hovering animation. That's probably definitely an event of some sort, to just like a dueling type stuff. Sensitive animations, polishing, yep. And dragon size variation, very cool. There's a base model for CK3 human right there, and you can tell how big they get, which is huge. Looks like they're gonna get the size of about Daenerys's dragons in the show, which makes absolute sense. I mean, it'd be insane to have. I don't know how you would be able to show the size comparison for like the Black Dread. Just making it, it would have to cover this whole screen, which I think would just be a little bit too much. Check this out. Wow, look how beautiful that is. Different skin tones, 4 different color palettes assigned to them. Majority of the body is more likely to be a duller color. The highlight colors appeared on the wings and the fin of the dragon, which makes perfectly sense. I mean, we got green, black, green. I'm sure if you like inbreed them, you'll have different color variations. With the golden one like that. Oh my gosh, very beautiful dragons here, and their eyes are like a deep purple as well. Very cool. And they have all these different horn shapes. So cool. 20 blend shapes of horns and fins makes for a variety of unique looking dragons. Very cool, and I'm sure they'll just be adding more over time as well. But you know, this is Crusader Kings 3, and before a fair bit of tweaking through inbreeding, I think a dragon ended up looking like this, which is pretty funny. I think he's kind of cool. I like the pig-nosed dragon here. I think he's pretty cool, like a short snout, you know. He's definitely a sort of like a terrier. Other challenges, they've definitely had a lot of significant challenges to overcome, especially the size. CK3 event windows were never meant to display something the size of a bus. Yeah, therefore assistance from TerraPass, and I had to create a camera zoom / gene shader, which allows for dynamic zoom the camera out as the dragon's in size to ensure it fills within the GUI elements. Very technical stuff. The dragon visuals, check this out. I'm sure even modeling, putting a person on top, first video of a dragon rider animation test. That is crazy. That actually looks really good. I'm surprised that we didn't have like some sort of like horse riding animation there. CK3 I know is very finicky for animation wise. The fact that we're able to do something like this is just fantastic. Amazing, absolutely amazing. A white and purple dragon, by the way, super cool. Unfortunate side effect is different on the vanilla gene system make dragons work like that. With the exception of historic dragons, the appearance of dragons is entirely random. This means appearance of parents does not influence the appearance of offspring. That is not exactly optimal, but we have the medieval menagerie update will let us alleviate some of these issues. I'm sure that people aren't gonna mind that they're I mean, in Song of Ice and Fire, the dragons never really look exactly like their parents in terms of egg. I'm sure if you want if they do update that way, and we have some sort of gene parents pass on, like some sort of like Balerion passes down with black wings. But Vagar, Valerian, and Meraxes all look different, so I do think it's some sort of a, with like the clutch of eggs, we'll find something different. Here's the next one. How about this? We finally get to see, remember my past video where I went over the traits of the dragons and what it possibly meant? Well, here they are. A dragon's character finally built some traits with the dragons. I had a lot of theory in my old video whenever I reviewed the teaser trailer. So this is going to be really, really cool. Early stages of dragon feature development, we acknowledge the importance of striking visuals seen in his extraordinary diary last week. Yes, that was really cool showing those dragons. Bringing them to life, but what about the mechanics of them? What about their taming chance and their traits? So they do have a way of roaming. Osanaxes was sighted leaving his lair in King's Landing, heading towards the province of the Lordship of Greyhelm. Ooh. And they pose significant risk to any ruler. Wild dragons cannot be used for combat or travel. They pose significant risk to ruler realm or location within their hunting range. Ruler possesses a dragon pit. A ruler who possesses a dragon pit can try to capture a wild dragon to make an own dragon. Meanwhile, you might see a local hero or brave knight attempt to tame the dragon directly, or courageously endeavor to end the reign by hunting the beast where it lies. That would be really cool. Some guy hunting the dragon, and he saves your realm. I would just straight up marry one of my daughters to him. I think that would be an interesting story to have there. Owned dragons are claimed by the ruler, but are not yet tamed by a dragon rider. They reside in the owner's capital like wild dragons. Owned dragons cannot be used in combat or for travel, but they are easier to tame than their wild counterparts. Characters who have not tamed the dragon can interact with an owned dragon at any court, either attempting to form a bond with a creature or taming it directly. Bonding, I think, is better. I think that will go in through the swaying mechanic, perhaps. Taming might just be an instant event there. Check that. Percy Peldax. That's really cool. A green dragon. Ares having the green wildfire looking dragon, I think would be really, really cool. Tamed dragons are dragons that a dragon rider has successfully tamed. If the rider is a ruler, they will reside in the ruler's capital. If not, they will stay in the capital of their employer. However, that is unless they're actively serving in an army or being used for travel with their riders. Meanwhile, traveling warfare riders have numerous ways to interact with their tamed dragons, including taking them for joyrides to increase their bond. That's very cool. Personality of dragon. Okay, very cool. Explored in fire and blood. Yeah, each dragon did have their interesting traits, which we saw in Drogon, Viserion, Rhaegal. Yeah, Drogon's super fierce and wild. Viserion is clever and affectionate, and Rhaegal seems to strike a balance between the two. Yeah, Rhaegal, I think, is my favorite of the two dragons, of the three. I mean, Drogon is really cool. He's going to be the main one, but I'm really interested to see who ends up being Rhaegal's dragon rider, unless Rhaegal does get killed eventually and wins, which is would be pretty bad. They've introduced a variety of dragon-specific personality traits. Okay, trait is dragon equivalent personality traits 1-to-1, which worked and took us through mostly development. Very cool. So yeah, these are specific dragon traits. Friendly, surprisingly peaceful. Consider the most peaceful creatures. Can also often be calm or even playful. Oh, that'd be nice. Are aggressive. I love it. It's a honey badger. Notoriously known for anger. Skittish. Okay, so it'd run away a lot. Bloodthirsty, craves bloody conflict, is noticeable in her element as the cause of death or destruction. I'm sure that will increase the taming chance there. So these right here, I'm sure would increase taming chances, and this right here would decrease the taming chances. Accepting, curious around people, showing a tendency towards riders and following direction. Defiant, that would probably be like a crazy trait to have. You'd probably have to like take that dragon out if it has defiant. Or if you tame a dragon that's defiant, I think would be really cool. Supporting would be happiest as many working henchmen. Various being loyal over being in control. This is almost something regal about this interaction. In other dragons, he expects all dragons and man to submit. Wow. Patient beast refers to battle with his or her moves well planned and exit focused. Attacking with reckless abandon will often engage enemies immediately. Oh, Cooperative. Oh, that'd be cool. Pack animal. He exceeds with peers at his or her side. Solitary, most effective when free from distractions and other dragons. Restrained. Okay, can you imagine a solitary, vicious, voracious, defiant, and calculating dragon? That would be a pretty cool dragon. What you think? What do you think would be a really good combo of traits here, mixed with this stuff? Write down in the comments what you guys think would be a really, really interesting dragon combination of traits here. That would make you want to tame it. A gentle giant. Okay, so they can change their traits here, where they increase the taming chance. The concern was, oh, just like that. The concern was that the wall repairs and more. The concern was less the wall repairs and more the step beforehand. Ushering a dragon like Prisuplatix everywhere, even temporarily, is not an easy task to be approached lightly. As the craftsman approached, I expected him to greet them with territorial snarl. However, he simply lifted his gaze, eyes shimmering with intelligence that transcended beastly instinct. With a defied stretch of his wings, he ambled forth, each step deliberate and unhurried, his tail swinging gently behind. He settled a new location with tranquility and eased the tension of the moment. Workers began to toil, casting glances of gratitude and respect toward his dragon, who watched them with placid curiosity. Convenient, perhaps raising dragons not hard after all. This is a travesty. How will our enemies fear us? Yeah, that's interesting. If you choose that, lose the trait accepting, you could end up not having such a tame dragon there. Okay, so there are values in the debug mode. Energy, rationality, greed, dread modifier, zeal. There's more stuff here. Developing is a fun activity. Yeah, sure it is. Of course, we knew the standard Diplo, Martial, and Stewardship. Intrigue, learning away was not going to be useful for a dragon. That's very true. We decided on a few key statistics that we think would cover a broad base of what's important with the dragon. Simply explained as a dragon size. Yep, that makes sense. Dragons will grow as they age, just as in lore, will never stop growing, though the rate does slow down as they get older. Baby dragons will grow by 30% yearly, while a 100-year-old dragon might grow to 1% larger yearly. We currently target a size about 20 as an adolescent dragon, 40 as an adult, and over 100 as a large dragon. Though of course, all that is subject to balance change. That makes sense. Temperament, okay. We want to reflect the nature of the dragon itself. How approachable is it? Is it more like Silverwing or more like Cannibal? Will it tear your arm off or just watch you? Temperament will largely be driven by the traits of the dragon, though some events, both as it grows and afterwards, can permanently change the temperament of the dragon, as experiences change as it approaches in the world. So if it has low temperament, would it be angrier? And if it has higher temperament, would it be happier? We're gonna have to see that. Draconic Dread. Okay, that nicely leads us to Draconic Dread. We can think of this as the presence of the dragon. The fear it strikes in the hearts of men. It's created because some things, like the dragon being skittish, would likely harm its temperament, but actually make it less scary. Still, it is largely a factor of its size and temperament, and more dreadful dragon would be more stressful to interact with. Okay, you need to get over your fear, or you should wish to climb its power over you. Oh, so like if you are a craven, you're not going to be able to tame a dreadful dragon. Like, that's not going to happen. So that makes the craven trait even worse. The taming chance. Yeah, how innately susceptible to taming a dragon it is. Okay, so it's a percent based of taming chance. Realize some traits will not map one-to-one. Those prior concepts either. For example, through the voracious dragon is likely of worse temperament than a restrained dragon would. Finally, we have combat effectiveness. Okay. 99% chance to tame it. I mean, you could still fail. Still out there, guys. Combat effectiveness, lack of photo, that's okay. Icon is still being made. I think you can do something where it's just like a dragon with his wings out or something. This is the most recent addition to the list. Complex situation. It'll be like prowess, I'm pretty sure. If that's what I would do. Make it more like a prowess system. If the combat effectiveness is higher. But then you're gonna have to worry about how would that work with other dragons? How would that work with humans? Is dragon prowess like 4 times that of normal prowess? It'd be pretty crazy. Could go talent to talent. Yeah, most dragons could not fight. True nature of dragons is debated. Further, it's likely will not be answered in the books. What seems likely are teams can either dragons can either be fertile or not, and likely have no true gender themselves. That's true. If you ever watched Godzilla 1998, I know that's a hard cut there, but producing asexually would make sense based off if you want to go by like biologically temperature ranges. But these guys are magic, so I'm sure they would sense maybe how many dragons are in the air, and then maybe increase the amount in a clutch or something like that. However, both because of implementing journalist characters in CK3 would be a nightmare, because Westeros is hardly the most progressive place, we decided to take a perspective-based approach. Whatever the true nature of dragons is, certainly regard them as male and female, so we shall too. Dragon genders will be revealed over time, either at birth or due to Maester's analysis of their movements, due to dragon riders instinctually knowing the gender of the dragon they ride, or due to the dragon laying a clutch and providing their femininity beyond doubt. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think nobody's gonna have, I think people's just not gonna have an issue with that. In the Fire and Blood, they definitely referenced Balerion being a male. I think they referenced Vhagar to be more of a female, more of like the Great Mother Dragon, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I'm sure they're all capable of having eggs, but it's just a way of mechanics, and they're gonna have to have that, which is perfectly fine. So a clutch of eggs, 3 eggs. I wonder if it's random. Like 1, 2, 3. How many could you have? Up to 5 eggs? Most genders be clear by adulthood. But we thought that is the most important reflection on the mysteriousness of dragons in a Song of Ice and Fire lore. Bring the same feeling to mod is always something we try to do where possible. That makes sense. And final notice, everybody's super hyped for dragons, but they are also mentioning they're not going to have multiple bookmarks here. They're probably just going to have one bookmark. They were really focusing on dragons a lot, which makes sense. I know that we have some mods that have new submods, but it's really just the skeleton of it. To create a bookmark in these mods, it's not like just creating another start date. They have to make characters, they have to make events, they have to because the mod team always goes crazier. If you look at the events for the recent 9 Penny Kings, there's a whole Blackfire event chain where you replace the lords with Blackfire supporters and sacrificing your kid to maybe even get a dragon and stuff like that. Very, very interesting. There's the Summer Hall event. That stuff is really hard to code into the game and really time consuming. And if they're focusing on dragons, which I'm sure took them better part of the year, making bookmarks, especially like War of the Five Kings, I'm sure that's going to be a very, very difficult one, because you're going to have, especially whenever the new update comes out with the adventures and playing as a single account, you're going to have to make every single character that has a POV chapter, well, maybe not every single, but the main, I would say at least the main 10, making them events and stuff like that. Imagine playing a solo character as Bran. You're going to want events towards that. So really cool. I'm pretty sure the next update, or the next bookmark, will be the Rogue Prince update, which I'm sure was going to have a lot of updates, a lot of events. You're going to have to play as Daemon, the Rogue Prince, and travel around the Stepstones and conquer Valyria, stuff like that, and maybe even try and take the throne yourself. Now, here's an interesting thing here. Final little thing for you guys, which I'm sure you did not expect. I definitely did not, but the devs released something really, really cool that I had no idea. The Gardener the High Garden Throne. Check that out, man. Ah, that is just so cool. It's the giant tree, it's the oaken seat. Very, very cool. The oaken seat right there. You can even see like the lush meadows and the forests. Oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? Look how cool that is. Golly. And that's like, I'm sure that's the summer month, or could be perhaps right before the Martells poisoned it, but that happened a long time ago. Or it probably wasn't the Martells, it was probably another Dornish. But dang, look how awesome that looks. Look at the winter time. Like, it's all dead. There are no trees growing. There's no roots. Order of the House Gardener sigil there. Order of the Green Hand there. Oh man, that's just fantastic. And there's the whole court with the roses. Oh my gosh, that is just so cool. Look at this Mace to Ace on the throne right there. I would sit on this throne. I would be a druid and sit on this throne. That is so cool. I'm sure it smells wonderful there. Just another W for the Reach right there. I mean, like, there's all the man, they even have stained glass of like that is actually like pure medieval like stuff there, like stained glass telling the history. There's House Florent, House Golden Grove. I think it tells all the descendants of House Gardner there. So if you want to play like a run with House Fosaway, can you name all the houses here? I'm not sure I can. But dang, that is just so cool, guys. Anyways, that's the mod review. We're going to get dragons very soon. Summer approaches. I will still have early access. Please subscribe. I will have long form videos about it. I mean, I'm sure other YouTubers will have the quick 10-minute videos, but if you actually want to see what happens and see the game, subscribe, and I will do my best to show it off for you guys. Thank you all for watching. Peace.